Did you want to come in? Okay, let's start with the on-off button. First person in the morning, right here on the side. Okay. It says power and there's a little arrow. Same on both.
Okay.
Now these have, and some of our customers turn these on, these have timers that you can have them set to turn on every day at a certain time and turn off at night. So,
because I think we've mostly been using the power save when people leave at night.
yeah, and if you leave, this has an automatic timer where after 4 hours, or we can change that time, it will go to sleep. So you don't have to come back and turn the copier off. You'll have to on the weekend.
Of having it start and come on and off whenever.
Okay.
Well,
And
it's
then
going to come
obviously,
on Saturdays and Sundays too.
If you would like it to,
I don't think we would, but if you can program it just to come on.
we
during
can
the
do
week.
Monday through Friday. You can actually go through and say, okay, some people you can actually go through and say, okay, well, this is a holiday and we won't get that sophisticated.
Alternatively, we could have it 7 days a week and you could come in every Saturday and Sunday and turn it off.
IT man. My plan is to have it come on at about 10 in the morning every day and shut off at 3:30.
That's when you come in. The rest of us actually do a full morning.
Save a lot of energy.
Yeah.
For the IT side of us, see this little button right there?
Yep.
That's the hard reset. That shuts the power off to everything. Now that I showed you that, you can forget about it.
Right here.
And that one has one inside the front door. What that is, this shuts the power off to everything except the board that's the computer. And you know how you don't just turn your computer off by pushing the power button at the end of the day? You actually shut it down. Same concept. So you shut this down, and then you shut that down. But that one's just designed to be left on indefinitely. So the only reason to ever hunt for that is if somebody finds it, shuts it off, and it's not turning it on here. Okay? So notice it says enter password. That's been greatly simplified, and it's the same on both machines. You don't have to do a username and password anymore on the little one that you used to have to do. So you just come up here, dial the number, and hit the key. When you're done, after a minute, it will log you out. If you want to log out immediately, because there's somebody standing here waiting to use the copier and you don't want them running on your number, just hit the key again. So just think of it as turning the lock and unturning the lock. When you press it, it says, "Are you sure?" So if you hit it by mistake, you have a chance to, not log out. Just hit the key again, or you can hit the yes.
So it's touch screen as well as.
Yeah, you can enter the, on the old copier, I think you entered password and you put the, and then you hit OK and log it. Well, that's a lot of steps.
Right.
Where now we just go log out, log in.
Are each of our passwords already in there now?
They're all in there.
On both machines.
There's a couple folks that we were told to not put in there.
Not there. Okay.
That was Jeff, one of them?
Jeff was one of them.
We'll find out.
You gave him a special code. He's the one. That
When I get done, everybody check your number, because just in case I transposed a number and got your number in wrong.
Did you show Kelly how to put in additional names if she
I
needs
have
to?
not, but I can sure do that. We'll do that when we print out the numbers and such.
Okay.
Okay, so that's how you log into the unit. The original's going the same way we're used to. Both of them hold 100 now instead of 150, so you don't have to remember that they're different. Just put the stack in face up. Tell it how many you want. Now this one actually, instead of going to $9.99, goes to $9,999. Let's not do that. Okay.
8,888.
Yeah.
We can just feed the tree right in there.
There you go. Okay, when you have blue, that's a good thing. If this is orange, something needs your attention. We'll talk about what might be needing your attention in a little bit. So that's how it copies. Okay? Now, if you don't make any adjustments and you put more than one original in here and ask for more than one copy, it will turn the sort on for you by itself. So they'll come out 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And I assume that you guys want to have each one offset stacked a little bit. So it comes out 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
So that's the way we set it up. Okay. So 90% of what you guys will do, that's it. The other 10% is probably double-sided, right?
Staples.
It's stapled. Okay. This is the only one that staples. That one doesn't have that feature on it. So come to this one.
do they both do double-sided or only this
They
one?
both do double-sided. Yeah. So what we've done now, is we've given what I've done Under finishing, it gives you pictures of staplers and hole punching devices. Okay, so if you want to finish something, and think of it as what we want to do with our copies when we're finished with them. We want to staple them, we want to hole punch them. And Dan talks too long, so it blocked me out. Okay, so press the finisher button. That will give you a picture of staple and punch. Now notice right under staple, and this will get you, because you're looking for staple, so you push what you think is staple. The button there is none, which is your default, so no staple. So right down here it says corner and to position. It gives you pictures of where that's going to be. So if you want a corner staple, select that one. You want a to position. Basically what that means is 2 staples at the side like a book. Okay.
And again, everything he's talking to you about here, when you see your print drivers tomorrow, you're going to be able to do from your print driver. So if you need to collate and staple or hole punch from your workstation, you just tell it to do that. When you walk in here, it's a finished product waiting for you. Done.
Yeah, so you can go file, print, and staple double-sided.
Including double-sided from your workstation. Yeah.
Same with the hole punch. And you guys are all used to 3 hole goes that way, 2 hole goes that way, unless you do want 2 holes at the side. It's just useful.
Rather have them at the top, I think.
Or you can mess with somebody, run it through twice, put 2 there.
So if it says 2 hole punch, it will punch at the top.
Well, you want to choose the direction going that way.
Oh, okay.
Because if you don't, it's going to put 2 at the side.
Okay.
Glad you asked that. And see down here you have this position setting. Now 90% of the time when you do a top left staple, you want that. But if it's a legal size document, it goes through that way. You don't want that corner. So that gives you an opportunity to move the staple around on the page. Okay. And notice it says auto. Auto will actually rotate that on the legal size for you. Okay, so this kind of forces an override on that. Okay, same with hole punch. So that's your finishing. The only other thing I'm going to talk about over here is this sort and group function, and then your offset. And I see that I don't have offset turned on as a default. So remind me, and I'll change that. Basically, we want that to be on. And that's what's going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. So if you didn't want that, and the only reason to not have that is if you had this 400 copy job of one original, and you don't want it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then that would put them all in one stack. That's the only reason to ever change that. This sort and group. Notice it says group. Group means I want my copies 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3. Not 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So even though it says group, if you put a stack in here, it has a feature called intelligent sort, which reads that you have more than one original and you tell it more than one copy. It actually changes that back and forth based on what you put in here. So the only reason to override that is if you're going to lay something on the glass and it's a stapled document, you don't want to take the staple out, and there's 3 pages and you want 10 sets, you want them sorted, then you'll go in here and actually turn the sort on because you're not using the feeder in that case. And basically what happens then is when you make a copy of the first one, it will say, are you finished? You're not, so you turn the page, make another copy, and then when you are finished, you hit the finished button, and then the copies will come out sorted. But you don't want it to do that to you all the time.
Does everybody know what grouping is? What a group sort is? Do any of you do seminars for groups of clients or for care facilities or anything like that?
On occasion.
On occasion. Well, if you had, you know, when I was in school, if you had a 30 kids in the class and you had a 5-page document, you could either collate them and hand it out to everybody. And I'm on page 4 while you're talking about page 1. So by going to group, what it does is it takes that first page and it will make however many copies of that first page you asked for. So if you got 20 people in that seminar, tell it 20, it makes 20 copies of page 1, and then it makes 20 copies of page 2. So that when you have that stack, you can hand out page 1 to your 20 people and talk about that, and then give them page 2 and or give them page 3. Okay.
Okay, so the double-sided is one of the last features I'm going to talk about in our basic training until we get to scanning. That's right here, up in the top right. And notice in the little window it says 1-to-1, which is your default, meaning it's going to make a one-sided original into a one-sided copy. Okay, press that, and here's your choices. So our one-sided to one-sided is highlighted. By the way, this copier is in green